Welcome to the Smart Talk series, the show for professionals who want strategies, tips, and real talk about all things PR, marketing, and social media. Your host is Melissa Vela Williamson, an award-winning, accredited, and nationally recognized PR pro and communication thought leader. And now your host, Melissa Vela Williamson.
Hello and welcome to the Smart Talk series. I'm Melissa Vela Williamson. This season, our focus has been on communication trailblazers. This has been a special series where we expanded and had the opportunity to speak to experts across the nation about what does it mean to be a trailblazer? What inspired you to be a trailblazer? Why would you do that on top of your everyday stressful job? For a lot of our trailblazers, what we heard was it's a calling, it's a passion, and in some ways, it's going to be our legacy. I like to think of myself at this point in my career as someone who's doing the work to be that trailblazer. If I try something new, I want to share that adventure and advice with others. So for our last episode of the season, we're going to do something different. I want to open up the conversation about what my book journey's been like and share a very special piece of it with you. So as you all have known, and I've alluded to throughout the season, I have been working on writing my own public relations book called Smart Talk, Public Relations Essentials All Pros Should Know. And if you didn't hear it in my voice, I emphasize the word all, because what I have really noticed across professions really is that there are gaps. There's some kind of disparity. There's some kind of bottleneck or issue or some kind of obstacle that gets in the way of onboarding into certain areas of the workforce. For people of color, for aspiring students, when you're thinking about what should I do, especially if you have a communication background, finding and getting into public relations isn't always a linear path. It isn't always natural. You often don't know someone who has done PR work, and you may not understand all about it. If you're watching TV, your idea of public relations is quite different than I think everyday pros experience. There's a whole lot less spin doctoring and hopefully a lot less drama for PR pros. But in my experience, it is such a purposeful area of work where you can really take anything you're interested in. You want to be a ballerina, you love soccer, you're into football, sports, whatever it is that gets you excited and passionate. You can intersect that with public relations work. There's pretty much a PR or communication job for any interest or hobby most people have. But what I've found as I've kind of come up through the ranks and started my own business, and now as a columnist and a thought leader in public relations, is that there's just a general lack of understanding, awareness, and then, of course, real college majors and tracks that help aspiring students find the field and then onboard and get into it. So what I'm going to do today is read the introduction of Smart Talk, Public Relations Essentials All Pros Should Know, because most people don't read the introduction, and this is a really good introduction. So we're going to jump into it. I'm going to read to you the beginning so that you have all the context of why I wrote this book, who it's for, and how to use it. Introduction. Have you ever been a part of a conversation that was going nowhere? Or had words coming at you, but they weren't lining up in a way that made sense? For some people, listening to an academic lecture or a presentation filled with industry jargon can feel like that type of blathering. Or you may know that feeling from having spoken with a passive-aggressive person who just can't or won't say the uncomfortable or hard thing they need to say. As a public relations PR professional, I hate wasting time trying to decode communication like that. Life is much too noisy and work is much too fast-paced not to get to the point. Personally, I skim over unnecessarily detailed paragraphs in books, fast forward through commercials, and may tune out people who don't communicate in a clear, impactful way. Professionally, I want to have deep conversations that uncover helpful truths, clarify confusing concepts, and allow me to connect with others. I call this Smart Talk. Real, honest, helpful conversations with an intelligent exchange of information and stories. Smart Talk isn't always comfortable, but neither is personal growth. Our growth as professionals is more probable when we don't beat around the bush. Working in PR can be full of enough unpredictable moments as it is. About 2 years into my PR career, I worked at a nonprofit. On behalf of the organization, I would coordinate media interviews, advertising, and partnerships with a radio station marketing executive named Scott. He was an influential and unconventional person. He decided which radio station public service announcements, community affairs show interviews, and partnerships happened. During our initial meeting, he showed me around his office. He pointed out cool celebrity photos, offered me a snack, and then we sat down for our chat. Suddenly, he grabbed a nearby neon yellow hand towel and threw it onto the desk. He looked at me with a smirk. "What's that?" I asked. He picked it up and let me read it. "Bullshit," I read aloud. "Why do you have a bullshit towel?" "It's a bullshit flag," he corrected me. "I throw it on the table during meetings whenever someone is bullshitting me." You better believe I wasn't prepared for that as a new PR pro. Luckily, I wasn't BSing him then, and I won't BS you now. This book is full of smart talk about PR. I'm sharing honest, insightful, and sometimes cringeworthy stories from my 2 decades in the trenches. The information and career lessons are for people like you, aspiring PR professionals who want to know the essentials of the practice so you can avoid the pitfalls. I'm offering you authentic, helpful, and encouraging insights into the most important parts of PR today. You won't need to throw a flag on anything you read here. I have grown immensely since my wobbly first years as an excited but ill-equipped PR coordinator. Nearly 20 years later, I am an internationally recognized and award-winning PR business owner who has worked in or with just about every sector of PR possible. I have worked as an employee at a boutique Hispanic-focused PR agency, for a nonprofit, for a large corporation, and at a large full-service PR agency. I've targeted the general market audience as well as niche, multicultural audiences in a variety of PR, marketing, advertising, community relations, and social media campaigns. I also have the rare experience of working in employee communications and in diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. That combination gives me confidence in working through a variety of communication challenges and with a variety of people. Since 2015, I have served clients as the founder of my own national award-winning boutique firm, MVW Communications. In my business, I can work directly as a consultant with the client or as an account director with an assembled team of communication experts. We tailor our approach and team size depending on each client's communication challenge and budget. My own breadth and depth of communication experience inspires our 360-degree communication perspective, but my expertise, accreditation, and heart are in PR. During my career, I have worked with over 90 brands, such as Kampgrounds of America, H-E-B, Alamo College's District, Meals on Wheels San Antonio, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and Girl Scouts of Southwest Texas. I never imagined I'd be sought after for advice, but I feel called to give it. I am proud to share best practices from my experiences as a thought leader in the field. I write for PR pros across the nation as a Public Relations Society of America columnist, the first to ever focus on the Hispanic and Latino market. I educate organizations and aspiring PR pros as a trainer and as a professional speaker. I enjoy sharing my ideas with trade journalists at PR News, and I've even represented the United States on an international panel of the Public Relations and Communications Association, PRCA Americas, the world's largest professional PR body. That's what's so amazing about this work. You never know where you could end up. My passion for elevating the industry has inspired me to reach out to others and to serve at a higher capacity to make places for pros of color. It has also emboldened me to launch my podcast, Smart Talk Series. I love PR so much that I created an online merchandise shop called PR Pro Gear, where pros can buy mugs and shirts about it. I found my own way into PR, but it was a rough road. Now, I want to invite others like me who lacked connections, education, or guidance onto a smoother path forward into the field. This book is a scalable way for me to share answers to questions I frequently receive from aspiring pros. More importantly, this is where I can encourage you to join the PR club. We need diverse pros in this industry more than ever. It's a more multiracial and multicultural world each day, and our PR workforce should reflect that. However, the lack of institutions offering PR as an undergraduate major, the lack of paid internship options, and the lack of current representation in the field can discourage students from diverse backgrounds from mentoring. Without some bridge from the classroom to the career, college graduates' lack of awareness of PR, misunderstanding of what the profession entails, and lack of real-world experience prevents them from getting on the PR career track. Similarly, journalists who transition into PR to get a more manageable schedule, earn higher pay, or increase their advancement opportunities soon realize there's much more to PR than just media relations. They often struggle to learn the many other disciplines of the job without embarrassing themselves or being labeled as inadequate once in. A lack of comprehensive PR career training can increase the likelihood of mistakes and perpetuate misunderstandings about the field. Students who are curious about PR or officially studying it as a major can benefit from the advice in these pages. It doesn't matter how many courses you took or didn't take. This is your guidebook. No textbook written by academics can replace the lessons from those who actually work in the industry. This book is also for journalists who are considering changing careers and moving into PR. And this is for journalists who are already working in PR and have realized they didn't know how broad the profession was. Marketers who do PR activities and need more guidance are also welcome. Anyone who reads this book will learn everything I didn't know when I started in PR. I'm offering you the mentoring moments you may need and the advice I wish I'd had when starting out. There are nuances in the work that it takes decades to learn. I'll share those with you, along with insights that will make newer pros more successful. As you read this book, you'll learn ways to be more marketable, earn more media coverage, and be more prepared for crisis communication issues. More importantly, I'll share PR principles and methods that will allow you to leapfrog ahead and avoid mistakes. Throughout the book, you'll learn how your own lived experiences and cultural practices can help you do well as a PR professional. You can consider if you're a fit based on the work involved in PR, not by your background. People from diverse or even adverse backgrounds are uniquely suited to thrive in PR. This book will not include PR history or theory. This writing is a holistic look at the most important aspects of the field you must know and embrace to become a strong candidate or professional. Beyond the fundamentals, I've added insights into where the PR field is going and why I think integration with other fields will lead to a more progressive, inclusive practice. Throughout the book, I'll introduce bold terms you should know and define them so we're speaking about the same things in the same way. As you read, highlight helpful lines, fold page corners, and mark this book up. Do whatever works to help you absorb the lessons and apply them right away. Ultimately, this book is for anyone who wants to learn the essentials of succeeding in PR. My lived experience as a second-generation Hispanic American, a first-generation university graduate, and an unsuspecting pioneer in many other ways, will be woven throughout the advice shared. Guest voices from diverse professionals I admire are included so that different perspectives can be considered. Learn from their advice in each chapter's pass the mic closing thought. Statistically, I'm not supposed to be writing this book. I represent part of only 10% of Hispanics and Latinos in the U.S. who report working in PR, according to the latest Census Bureau. Latino authors make up only 4% of the publishing industry. But here I am. A strong work ethic, willingness to learn, and curious nature can take you far. I started as a PR coordinator with little formal academic PR knowledge, no portfolio of experience, and no friends in the field. Now I'm an accredited and award-winning PR strategist who runs her own agency, hosts a podcast, and writes for the leading PR association in the nation. What I have achieved in this profession was not passed down through generations of family experience or through a pre-established network. I've learned to ask for help, do the most with what I have, and creatively solve problems. Now, I feel equipped to invest in supporting the diversification and advancement of this field. That is my new calling, and I hope what I share inspires you to pay it forward too. For many of us, we don't know someone like us who works in PR. Don't let that stop you from seeing yourself as a fit for the industry. Let me be your trusted guide and confirm that you can do well in PR. This book is my written invitation for you to join in. Come with me on this journey. We are proud to have you as part of the club. Read on for the essential information you need to get started. Thanks to our listeners for joining me for today's episode. We love diving deep into communication topics to elevate our industry practice. If you'd like to go deeper, you can work with me as a trainer, consultant, or hire my firm for strategic communication planning or PR strategy services. And finally, my book, Smart Talk, Public Relations Essentials All Pros Should Know, is now available for purchase on Amazon. Grab your copy there and please leave us a happy review. It would mean the world to me, and it'll help more aspiring or working pros find it on Amazon. And as always, think smart and communicate smart. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Smart Talk series. If you learned something or enjoyed our conversation, share it on social media or send to a friend. To learn more about this and other communication topics, visit mvw360.com. That's mvw360.com.